So, The X-Files was a TV series that ran through the most part of the 90s. Started in 1993 and it had a pretty good run. Very popular, ran for 9 series through 1993 through to 2002. I've talked about this quite a bit on the channel in the past. In fact, when I started my original horror reviews back in late 2013, that was when the Halloween seasons that we've been doing annually here ever since were born. The X-Files was one of the first things that I talked about, and we've done videos ever since then, but one thing that we haven't really talked about was the soft kind of reboot in a way. More of an event series, I believe it was described as, from 2016 and then 2018. So we had the 9 series, as you can see here on the Blu-ray collection. That's these here. You had 2 movies, one in 1998 that was kind of sandwiched in between series 5 and 6. That came out of the cinema as a proper film. And then after the series ended in 2002, there was a gap of 6 years. In 2008, the X-Files movie, X-Files movies, there's 2 movies here, called I Want to Believe, came out. And then after that, we didn't have anything for about 8 years. It was doubtful anything was going to come back at all. But then we had the 2 event series. So let's just have a quick look at those. So these are the Blu-rays for Series 10 and 11. And Series 10 had 6 episodes. Start again. Series 10 had 6 episodes. Series 11 had, I believe, 10 episodes, something like that. So they got released early on in those years, 2016 and 2018. And there were a number of things that were of note when they brought this back, some continuity issues and so on. Several points to make, but we've not really covered it on this channel. So the point of this video here today, similar to my Halloween video I did a few days ago about the 2018 Halloween movie and the 2 sequels to that, was it worth bringing back this franchise that had been kind of left for many years? Was it worth bringing back, and maybe for some of the, let's just say, damage that they did to some of what came before, kind of rewriting things and kind of putting a different spin on things that came before, kind of undoing that? Was it worth it for what we got here? That's the point of this video. Now, today we're going to be talking to the core, because he's got several things to say about this. It was kind of an unplanned video. We just kind of rolled camera. We didn't really know exactly what we were going to be saying, the points we we're going to be covering. We just kind of rolled our thoughts off. So it's a bit of a rough video, but I hope you kind of get something out of it anyway. And yeah, here goes. Start recording.
Yes.
Right, so today we have the core for the Halloween special. So what we're going to do today is talk about the X-Files, the last 2 series that they brought it back. This was a few years ago, obviously. None of this is of anything too recent. But as fans of the X-Files, we talked about it before, and this is something we've not really covered.
Yeah, this is us looking back with, like, I mean, this isn't like the knee-jerk reaction of, oh, it's just come out, like, how do we feel about it? Like, no, this is us with a bit of time, like, to look back and be like, yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah, well, for context, they brought it back. What happened is in 2015, they did a HD remaster with the original series, and they put it out on Netflix. And it got a whole new audience that never saw it originally, a lot of younger people, and there was a lot of interest. So that kind of sparked things off to bring the show back.
I don't know. I think my vote is, I kind of wish they hadn't in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, the point of this video is, was it worth bringing back? And as much as I love the X-Files and it was, great to see it back, it kind of undid some things. And
yeah, how was it distributed? Was it on Netflix? I don't think how we would have seen.
I think we just torrented it basically, and I ended up buying them on Blu-ray when they came out shortly afterwards. But
see, I'm pretty sure I didn't torrent it, so I don't know. Maybe I can't remember.
But it was on the Fox, network or whatever. in the US. But so it was in 2016 they did a 10th series because the series originally ran from 93 to 2002 and there were 9 seasons. So series 10.
And then they did like a couple of movies to kind of bridge the gap.
Yeah. So it was a movie in 2008 and it did acknowledge that. And so you had series 10, which had 6 episodes in 2016, and then 2 years later you had another 11th series, which ran for 10 episodes. And series 10, so that was the one from 2016 that ran for 6 episodes. Obviously it was a mini series, it was like an event series kind of thing. And
I mean, I know it was a big deal at the time, because it was like, you know, yeah, we're getting back David Duchovny, we're getting back Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
Like, this is big.
It had that kind of more modern, kind of polished look to it. If you go back and watch the original series, especially the first couple of series, they don't look. They have a kind of realistic kind of feel to them. They don't have that kind of cinema sort of look to them. But as each series kind of went on, especially after they did the movie and they started filming them in LA from series 6 onwards, they had a very polished look. And then with the new ones, they went all out. Which is fair enough because it's a more modern thing.
Yeah, they should have really put more money into actually, making good episodes, I think.
Yeah, because that 6 series obviously wanted to bring back the what you call your classic conspiracy episode. So that was the first episode and the last episode of series 10.
Yeah, because they kind of threw out everything they'd sort of done before because they wanted it to be like approachable, I guess, for like new people.
Yeah.
Which I kind of get, but it was also like, okay, but we've seen stuff, you know? Like, we've seen stuff specifically that we've seen as the audience that Mulder and Scully were not privy to. So it's like, the fuck? You know, like this stuff, you know, can't just have not been, you know, it was all a lie. None of it was correct. It's like, we've seen the shape-shifting alien bounty hunter doing stuff on his own and shape-shifting when nobody's around to fucking see. So what the fuck is that? How's that explained with the, oh no, it was all fake all along?
Yeah, and there are a lot of things. I mean, yeah, we get it. It was a soft reboot in a lot of ways. Little things like having Mulder back at the FBI. It's like, as if, like, seriously.
I mean, the guy was up for, like, fucking trial and stuff. There's no way he was getting his job back.
Yeah, I mean, in the movie, in 2008, at least, they kind of said, well, you know, enough time's passed, all is forgiven kind of thing. You can kind of get beyond that maybe, but when they kind of bring you back as an agent, it doesn't really make sense. But for the sake of the show, we get it. That's how you've done it. That's fine.
It's like Scully's gone off and she was like a full doctor for a time working in a hospital, but now she's back at the FBI. It's like...
Yeah, how did that happen? Yeah. But we get it because it works for the show. There was some good stuff. I mean, Skinner was... I mean, the characters were very good as well. Like, Mulder and Scully were really good in it, and, you know, they still felt like the same characters kind of thing.
Like I say, it was a shame, especially when you had, like, you know, the guy who created it back. His was some of the worst episodes. The guy's unfortunately lost some.
Yeah, so often happens. Like, say, Ridley Scott coming back to do like the Alien movies and stuff like that. You know,
it does make you wonder, like, how much of it was like the team he had around him at the time. Like, did he have somebody there and they're kind of going, "Oh, that's a stupid idea, mate. Like, what if we do it like this?" You know.
Yeah.
Even if it was just bouncing, you're not saying like, oh, he's a hack, he was never any good. It's like, who did he have to bounce his ideas off? Because obviously they weren't there this time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know what you think about this, but it feels to me like the show was made for the people making the show. It felt like they were just having a reunion and a big party, and a byproduct of that was the show that we get to watch, kind of thing. Rather than...
But yeah, just like really bad episodes, like character assassination episodes, where it's like, look, I have my issues with the character of Mulder, but for fuck's sakes, even I believe that simply going to right, you're on drugs.
Yeah,
he's not going to suddenly turn him into like a drug loon fucking idiot.
Yeah,
like he's not that weak-willed. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was that Babylon episode, wasn't it?
That was all. He was like, oh shit, we're finally going to find out something about the lone gunman. Ha 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 ha! Fucking nope. This was just a weird drug trip that Mulder had while being perfectly fucking sober.
Because what you're saying there is because they said they were going to bring back the lone gunman for an episode, and it's like, well, they've been killed off, but fair enough. And they're just there, like in the background in a dream that he has, basically.
Yeah. And the dumb thing is, like, they've brought out other like X-Files reunion things like comic books and stuff, and There was like an audio thing they did as well, kind of like that Alien 3 audio kind of.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, most of those things brought back things like Krychek, Mulder, Scully, like the lone gunman and all that. And they didn't just do it in like it was Audrey. It was like actually like they had to fake the death because of such and such, and ultimately this is what they've been doing in the intervening time. It wasn't just nope, they're not really here. Mulder's having a drug trip or being perfectly sober.
Yeah. So there was that, and then there was this 11th series, which was a bit weak as well. It was like the number of sort of crap episodes seemed to outweigh the good ones.
Yeah, like I say, I was kind of divided over season 10. It was like my dislike of the like conspiracy episodes were ramped up to 11 because they were just that like half-assed.
Yeah.
But there were a couple episodes in there. It was like, yeah, that was genuinely a good episode. Like that did feel like the original show.
Yeah.
I could really do with them toning down the number of comedy episodes. Like when you're doing like 20 odd episodes for a season,
and
having like 4 or 5 comedy episodes, that's fine. When you're doing like 10, 6, 7, 8 episodes, like if 4 of them are comedy, it's like that's half the season.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, which you seem to do, and like I say, when we were saying this before, like we enjoyed like the odd like ones, but
like I say, when they were spaced out through a season, it didn't feel so bad. But this was just like it feels a good half of the series is just stupid comedy episodes.
Yeah, and
especially doing stuff they've done before, like this is Mulder and Scully, like 2.0. It's like we've done that before. It's been the gag in at least 2 different fucking storylines. But now we've got yet another like, this is Mulder, this is Scully. Like, come on, guys, seriously.
Could have lived without that. And they've not got a lot of time to kind of do stuff. They could have done a lot better with that time. They kind of wasted it. But one of the major things that I thought was one of the most egregious things that's ever been done in the X-Files was that first episode. Well, the last episode of Series 10, the first episode of Series 11, where that first episode of Series 11 just retcons everything. That whole last episode was a dream, basically.
Even the stuff that the person dreaming it weren't there to actually see.
Yeah, but then things that were in that episode, which we're now saying is dream, still remained to be the case, like the Smoking Man now being alive and Monica Reyes working for him.
Yeah, like I was saying, like if you're a fan of the character Monica Reyes, just you bend over and prepare to take it up the ass because fucking character assassination, Jesus.
Literally, and then one of the last things we see is like she tries to run over Skinner, he shoots her in the face, and then she runs him over in her death throes or whatever, and he's possibly dead. She's definitely dead. These are both good characters.
I mean, bearing in mind, like the character Monica Reyes, she was like the Mulder character. She was the one who wanted to believe. She was the one that chased all this stuff. And ultimately, when it came down to it, she was willing to face down like the alien super soldiers to protect Scully and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't like a shit character. She wasn't a weasel.
Yeah.
And they kind of sort of half explained it, but it's like, okay, that's a really lame explanation for her now being like the bad guy.
Yeah.
And even if it was a case like, she's being forced, it's like, okay, well, we've already done that with Skinner and done it better.
Yeah.
But this was like, no, she's not just like, trying to balance like working with the Smoking Man because he's got something over her and help the good guys. Like, she was pretty much like irredeemable by the time they were done. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, I think we'll have to wrap it up shortly, but I owe you an apology, and I've said this before. Years and years ago, you said that the Smoking Man, at the end of Series 9, when you see him get blown up, you were saying you didn't buy that he was dead, and I'm like, look, he's dead. He's like, you can see his like skin like comes off his like skull, and his head explodes, and they're not bringing the series back, and you were like, they'll bring him back, and I was like, bullshit. You were right, I was wrong.
Yeah. And again, it's one of these, it's not like this was some kind of like double put in there just to like fool Mulder and Scully. Mulder and Scully did not see him explode, did not see his skin get burnt off. Like, like that's just something we as the audience saw, so it's like, the fuck?
And also, he is dead now because he got shot in the chest. And
that's it. I mean, that's why it was so pointless. It's like, I don't believe for a second that would kill him.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen, I mean, if it was just like shot twice in the chest, Mulder stands over him, empties the fucking clip, I might have bought that. But no, it's like he took 2 bullets in the chest. Don't know how, like, lethal they were. You don't really see, You're seeing him get shot twice, and all you see was shot through the heart or something. And then he falls in the water and his body's gone. It's like, that is about as unconvincing a death as you could fucking do.
Yeah, so we didn't really buy that, but to ask, was it worth bringing back? I'd say really, for me, as a selfish thing, yes, it was, because I enjoyed just that it was back, but really, when I look at it objectively, no, it wasn't worth bringing back. The kind of... I didn't like the end of Series 9, but they fixed that with the movie, I think, so that the last kind of taste that you've got in your mouth from it isn't that really bad ending from Series 9. The movie kind of sorted that. So I can't even say that it was worth bringing back to fix that, because the movie fixed that. So, yeah, very, very sad that that's the case. But
yeah.
But I try to say at least the good episodes, we've still got those, but just those bad episodes just kind of made it.
At least
pointless.
it is one of those things where there are so few like standout episodes that I can just sack them off and just forget they ever did like a revival.
Yeah.
I think that's where I would go with it, to be honest.
Yeah. So, well, that was it. We wanted to do this video because it's the 11th annual, but it's the 10th anniversary of the Halloween specials on the channel this month in October. In our first year, we did an X-Files. Well, I did an X-Files video. You had a bit of a cameo in there. Probably work that into the video here, actually. You can see from the cover of FHM magazine, but we're going to be looking at all this kind of stuff in the next review. I'll just move this because oh, bollocks. I've just dropped my tissues and the magazine. I'm going to have to go pick them up. What the hell? Bloody hell.
Joe, can I just ask you? Oh, you sick bastard!
It's not what you think. Oh, for God's sake. I was just doing a review, alright. He's gone now and he thinks I was doing something else that I wasn't. I've got a cold, you saw for yourself, that's why I've got the tissues out. I'm just doing a review, that's why I've got that. It's not what you think. Anyway. Yeah.
Actually, if you're done, can I just borrow that?
No, get out.
Damn it!
Right, okay. But yeah, that was 10 years ago. So that was your first appearance on the channel as well.
Yeah, just thinking before it came out, the fact they were restarting the X-Files and they were bringing back that was a massive thing. But thinking about it now, it's how many people even fucking noticed? Ultimately, it was that bad and just disappeared that quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when people are talking about shows and stuff, I don't think they ever really mentioned the fucking X-Files revival show.
Yeah, there's a lost opportunity, really. So who knows if they'll ever bring it back again? I very much doubt it, but I doubted it before. So.
I think if they did at this point, it would be with different cast, some kind of reboot or something.
There was talk of that. I don't think it will happen, but there was talk of it. So I think that's the nearest they've come to doing it.
It was probably a risk for a while when they were just looking for any shit to throw up on streaming to kind of keep stuff going.
Yeah.
But I think now that's started to die a death a little bit when they've realised, well, shit, we're throwing tons and tons of money into something that's not making us any money. So I think they're starting to slow down at least a little bit on yep, we've got this IP, let's remake it, because they were talking of them redoing it with I think Stargate and Babylon 5 both getting reboots, which honestly I'm not sure are going to happen at this point. It's you keep hearing yep, it's definitely happening. It's all right, but where's the solid information on it?
Yeah, and also they're going to do a Star Trek 4 as well. Let's not forget that. We talked about last year.
Kind of fuck knows where Star Trek is these days. The last season of Picard was actually genuinely good. I liked it. A lot of people kind of hated it for some reason, and I think it is very much people pissed off that this might actually keep what's going on for a little while. And I get it. You want it all to go away, but it's yeah. It was very much playing on nostalgia, but hey, at least it was fucking watchable.
Yeah, I heard that from a few people, but. Anyway, well, yes, we'll wrap this up, but we're going to do some more videos for this Halloween special, Honey, aren't we, as well?
Yes.
So, yeah, bit of a negative kind of spin we've got on something that we really enjoy, but that's kind of the point. It was just the fact that it was a lost opportunity, and they kind of dropped the ball, unfortunately, but...
I mean, like, looping back to the Picard thing, like, theoretically, if they did do, like, a third season of the revival show, they fucking won't. Like,
The X-Files, I mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's what I mean by the revivals, you know.
Yeah.
If they did, like, I mean, they could technically pivot and just do a good season of the X-Files, and maybe then that would redeem it in some ways, but as it stands now, I'd put it solidly on a don't even bother. Just skip it.
Yeah, I'd rather they didn't. So yeah, there we go. Right, well, we'll leave there. I'm gonna have to
Yes.
I'll have to start recording. But yeah, so Brandix Reviews, you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more Halloween fun.
Yeah.
No.